Hey guys, Jeffries here, and welcome to a brand new series. At the moment called Jeffries Plays Cities in Motion 2, and it will probably stay that way as well. This is a game that I've had for many months. I had the original Cities in Motion. I got it a fair while after it came out, but I fell in love with the game. It's a fantastic simulation game. And then I think the day that Cities in Motion 2 came out, I bought it immediately. And I've bought a vast majority of the DLC, albeit at a discounted rate. In fact, I think I've got all of the DLC apart from the landmark stuff. That's what I was going to say. So what I'm going to do is jump straight into a campaign. You'll notice that I've done quite a few of these levels already. However, I have completely deleted all... What's that? I haven't got any. I've completely deleted all of these. However, I have deleted my save file so that I am literally starting from scratch again with you guys. So everything you see is me starting from absolute scratch. Obviously, I know the ins and outs of the game, so you'll see me using a couple of tricks that I've picked up along the way. But in the meantime, let's get started. One of my frustrations with this game compared to the first one in the series is, in the first one, once you'd completed a level, let's say, a city, you still had the option to play on, and you could still build onto the infrastructure that you already had. On Cities in Motion 2, that is not the case. Once you've completed a level, you click OK, innocently thinking that you're then given an option to continue or not, and before you know it, you're ripped back off into the menu screen and the option to go on to a different city, which is quite frustrating. It means that a lot of my cities will be unfinished, in my eyes anyway. I'll do enough to complete the objectives and pass the level, but I always like to add on to the levels and build up on the city. But as you can see, here we are in, I think it's called Central City, this one. We have a little message here. Good day to you. I'm Stephanie York, the Mayor of the city. We are so glad to have you here. The citizens have been asking for a public transport system for a long time. For me, the most important thing is to keep citizens happy and make the city grow. You can get to work immediately. So the goal is to establish 15% coverage of the entire city. So out of all this area here, the goal is to get 15% coverage. So I'm going to OK that. Now one of the areas I like to focus on, you will see this island here, big hub of the city, lots and lots of high-rise buildings, and then you've got this island here, which is sort of, it is quite packed still, but it's more what's the word, suburban, I suppose. And then you've got actual suburbs here, some more denseness here, and then you've got true suburbs here. You've got another dense area of the city down here, you've got an industrial area here, another dense area here, and some more industrial here. And you'll notice as well, if I go to top view like this, there is some park areas. So you've got parkland here, 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 little bit here, here, little bit there, little one there as well, and then you've got big parks here and here. What I'd like to do is establish like a transport hub for the city. So the main lines of the city all come from one place. And I was actually reading an article on Steam about this about 5 minutes ago, where it had all the different warnings about be careful when doing this because. And admittedly, I've had times in the past where I've tried this and ended up with a massive, congestive, packed area of the city, especially when rush hour kicks in as well. There's lots of roads that get really busy. But on the flip side to that, if you have a central hub, you've got a huge area where passengers can be brought in from all areas of the city, and then they can transfer onto any other type of transport and head off again to other parts of the city. It's a big money maker. I used to have it, if I can zoom in and turn the camera around, I used to have my transport hub at the end of this main road here. So this pathway used to become a bus road. And you used to have trams that used to come in from this main avenue, and then you have buses and trolleys coming in from all over the place, and then the depots were lined up along the front here. And it was all well and good until sort of the buses and the trams and the trolleys started getting in each other's way. The reason I had it on the coast here was so that I could have access to the waterways. However, the waterways are not as important in my eyes now because, one reason or another, they're not as popular. They're only popular with tourists in the city, and that's not the angle I'm going for. I want everybody to use my transport network, not just certain individuals. So another option is, if I spin the camera around again, to use one of these park areas. Ideally, I want to use the biggest park area available that doesn't have water in it. So that immediately rules out this one, for example, because it's got a massive lake in the centre. And it also rules out this one here and this one up here. It does open up the opportunity of using this one here. I could also demolish this road and encourage people to use the outside roads here as like a roundabout kind of system. Or I could use this long thin stretch here, which has just got pathways running through the middle. The limitations of using this one, if I can get my mouse to work, is okay, I can demolish these paths, that's fine, but these roads are a little too close together for my liking, so you end up with having to pack things in. So I think the only option then, I believe, is to use this one here. So if I delete this road, I can then incorporate this area with the lake as well, because I have a bit of a plan. So let's do that. So we'll delete Sunset View Lane, like so. And this is all a one-way system, but it's actually heading in the wrong direction to what I want. So I think once everything's in place and we're making a little bit of money, the next step would be to shift which way round these roads go. Alternatively, I could just leave it, but that's going to be a bit pet peeve for me, because although British roads, it's going in the right direction for a roundabout, American roads, it's going in the wrong direction, and I don't think I could cope with that. Alright, the next step is I've demolished that road. Now I'm going to replace it. But I'm not going to replace it with a normal road. Any of these roads, I don't want. Actually, do I want them? No, I don't think I do. Because that encourages cars to come down, and that's not what I want. What I want is buses, trams, and trolleys only. So I'm trying to be clever with how I do this. I want the depots away from the main centre hub of the city. I'm just thinking, if I demolish this road here and this section as well, I can have a bigger area to work with, but then that I lose the organicness of the city because it's not how it originally was. I want to try and make as little impact as possible to the actual city, so I don't want to be tearing down buildings. I got rid of this one road so far. I kind of want it to stay like that. I'll show you guys what I have in mind. What I'd like to do is to have a road from here that curves in, and a road from here that curves in, and then this area here is going to be all bus stops. One problem I can see with that though is the limited space, which is why I was considering getting rid of this section here. But I can't see that working out, so the next option is one-way systems. And that one might work better, thinking about it. So what I'm going to do now, and I keep going into the build menu, and I'm actually going to build something now, which is fantastic. I'm going to build that road going like that, and then up here I'm going to build this road, hopefully going in a straight line and linking up there. Okay, that's step 1 complete. Step 2, I'm going to put can I do this? If I build that to there, that's not gone well. It's hard to get the dimensions. There we go. That's kind of what I want, like that. And then I'm going to build another one that sort of runs in the middle of those. Except that's not going to work like that. If I could do it like... Nope. There maybe? Is that going to work? Yeah, that could work. Like that. And then can I fit a third one that goes in the middle bit here? It looks like I can. Like that. And there we go. And now, what I'm going to do... In fact, I think I've made a mistake already. I think I've made a very big mistake already. Yeah. No, do you know what, guys? Sorry about this. I'm going to start again. Delete, delete. Truth be told, I'm not 100% sure what I actually want to do with this. There we go. I just want an area where buses come in one direction, drop passengers off, and then leave again. And maybe the best way of doing it is to keep with the road as it was. Got me thinking now. Don't like it when people make me think. So what was it? It was an avenue, wasn't it? But I don't want an avenue. But it's 3 lanes wide, so I'll keep with the 3 lanes wide thing and run it across like that. And then trying to think, because I want metros and tramways to come through as well. So tramways can come through this section quite nicely, and they'll just follow the same rule as what everybody else has been following, like the buses and the trolleys. I know what to do. Right, build roads, pedestrian street. I'm going to split this in half, if it will let me. Build... Is that about halfway? I'd say that looks about halfway to me. Right, and now I'm going to demolish that bit. Because what that does is it creates a split. See that there? Little split. And what I'm then going to do is I'm going to use that as a reference. So if I then build one, let's say just level with this lamppost, like that. And then level with this lamppost, like that. And then I'm going to delete that one again, so that's all joined up again. And then I'm going to delete this one, and I'm going to delete this one. And what I'm now going to do is get this type, build it to about there, and then loop it around. It might not let me do that because of... Let's see if I demolish that quickly. I'm getting rid of so much road here. It's terrible. Try it again. So was it about there? And then loop it round like... that's not quite right. There maybe? Loop it round. There we go. Okay, and then... Was it 3 lanes, isn't it? Put this section back in. That's slightly better. So what we've got now is we can have bus stops on all of this section here, and then we can also have, say, trolley stops on one side, and then, say, tram stops on the other. Although I think we'll actually have the tram stops on this main road here. And then... Am I happy with this? I suppose I'm going to have to be, really, aren't I? It's not a bad start. And then metro and things can come in up here. And then waterways. I mean, we're not too far from the water if I do decide to build it. And then over here, I'm going to demolish this road, and these roads. This is where the depots are going to be. So it keeps the depots away from this area here. And then I've got a very clever idea as to how to link them together. But I will exploit that idea at a later date. What I'm going to do now is put some bus stops in. Now, the smart idea for me, this is a hub station, so you want the biggest available. And because there's a chance that all 3 forms of transport are going to have stops on this main road, I'm going to use these types of stops. You can get them in the in-game store, and it's bus, trolley, tram stop. And it means any kind of system with a connection can stop at these stops. So I'm going to put one there, and then I'm going to put one here and here. And I'm also going to have one there and there. Keeps them nicely, evenly spaced. Hopefully it means that buses, trams and trolleys can all stop without interfering with each other. That's the plan. Whether that actually works or not, I don't know. It's easy to do it with trolleys and trams because you can just make the wires go in certain directions. However, it's not that easy for buses because buses tend to stick in the bus lanes, the red lanes here, until you want them to, and then suddenly they want to go somewhere else. So it's frustrating. It's frustrating. And you can see as well, cars like to stick in these lanes. I don't know why they choose to. I think it's because these two lanes obviously will go straight. In fact, no, they don't. That lane always goes left. You can see there it goes left, it goes left. This lane goes right. So any cars coming down here that want to turn right, they will get in the bus lane, which will block buses off that are leaving this stop. But that shouldn't be too much of a problem. What I've also got here now is my central hub is on one of the main roads that runs from north to south. You can see it runs all the way down to here. And if I wanted to, I could then build a bridge that goes across to this side as well. I'm not going to do that just yet, and hopefully I won't have to. Right, now this section here, this road, I'm going to put... in fact, there's something else that I wanted to look at. Here, monorail tracks. I've also downloaded monorail tracks. You see that you can put them anywhere you like. They're a bit like metro tracks. They're available in the Steam store. They're not available on the online store. They're quite cheap as well, considering. I mean, most games I've got, the DLC is incredibly expensive, but this you can buy quite a lot for less than a tenner. So, in fact, most of it you can buy for less than a fiver, so it's a pretty good deal. You might have noticed as well, this side mission's come up. Just wants me to buy 3 trams. I could do that. 3 trams, nice bit of money. How much do I earn? 2,200. That's not bad. So yeah, this area here is going to be where most people connect with the metros, and I might have another like bus area up here as well, depending. Some more local stoppers kind of things. These are the main areas that I want to focus on, these 6 bus stops here. And you know, this area has to have a name. So the last thing I'm going to do in this episode before I call it quits is name these stops. So this direction here, this is north. This direction here is south. So in theory, all vehicles that arrive in this side of the road are heading this way, therefore they're going north. All vehicles this way are going south. This area I'm going to creatively call the Jeffrey Central Hub, even though it's not central, it's central in my eyes. So this one, for example, is going to be renamed Jeffrey Central Hub, which is going to be MCH North 1. And then this one is going to be MCH North 2. And then if I get rid of these 2 windows, this one is going to be MCH North 3. There we go. And then to follow that up, this one is going to be MCH South 1. And then we've got MCH South 2. And finally we've got MCH South 3. Their stop numbers, you can see, hang on, if I go back on here, these ones here, I'm not going to change those because they're just built in the order that, or they're numbered in the order that I built them, so I might as well just leave that as is. But yeah, that just about finishes this episode, guys. I know that not much has happened, but it's getting the basic setup and making sure everything's in the right place, so that once you start building, everything else it all becomes perfect, basically. So I'm going to call that an episode here, guys. So all that's left to say is thank you very much for watching. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, be sure to click the subscribe button. If you have subscribed to my channel, thank you for your continued support. And until next time, I will see you soon.
Thank you.